once again to Living and Active. Go ahead and excuse me for a moment. I'm trying to still get situated here. I just started recording a little bit early because I didn't want the camera to time out while I was messing around with things. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to replicate an acoustic experiment that I did a little bit ago, not long after I got this dulcimer right here. This would be Lillian. This is Lydia. But I noticed not long after I got them that with Lydia being a teardrop dulcimer and Lillian being an hourglass dulcimer, I wondered what would happen if I did my best to sort of nest the curves of each instrument into each other to sort of maximize, I don't think, I think what's actually messing me up here is that I don't think I have my lap desk underneath these two, sort of bridging the space between the armrests in my recliner. I had thought it was going to be long enough to actually support the dulcimers without having the ends compromised by the difference in elevation between the lap desk and the arms of the chair. What I was trying to do is I was trying to maximize the contact points in between the two resonating chambers of these instruments and see if they would pick up any sympathetic resonance between them that could be picked up by this camera. So I'm going to stop talking now. This is about as good as I'm going to be able to get it until I figure out a different system. So I'm just going to go to the strumming part of things, and I'm going to let you listen. This is all experiment, by the way. I probably wouldn't be able to catch up in your resonance unless I had a specific dedicated microphone I could hold over each set of sound holes. I can pick some up with my ears. I don't know if it's coming through in the camera. I gotta figure out a better way of making that chord. Can I do this? It doesn't seem that I will be able to. That was a pretty good stretch that I got out of my left half a hand there. I'm not able to duplicate that very often. Maybe this will be a better video to demonstrate the the difference in the sisters' voices here. I tried to in this video I shot on the floor, but I think I was too far away and everything was too messed up to actually capture it very well. So let's try this. See, now I lost my place on the scale there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1. Oops. No. Hang on, I gotta think this through. I learned this song with the numeric system, with one being the root note of the key, I guess. And these are tuned to D. And if I assume that what I'm usually playing is C major, nope. At least I'm consistent. I made the exact same mistake. Lillian is getting her butt kicked. I don't know what's happening to her, but she's got all kinds of scuffs and scrapes and stuff. I'm not happy about it. Nope. I missed that up, didn't I? Okay, so let me start on this one. That needs some work, but at least it's starting to sound like something a little bit. I have no idea how much fun you guys are having, but I'm having a blast. It is actually reaching over this one and trying not to rest my arm on Lillian here so I can jam out on Lydia is a little bit more taxing than I would like. So what I'm doing is I'm bracing my hand. You probably just heard the contact here. I'm bracing my right half a hand off to the side of the soundboard here on Lydia. And I'm just sort of letting the what tension I have through here on this side of my arm kind of sort of do some kind of weird theoretical physics type of support, so that like my arm isn't like completely just out there floating. But this is very taxing. Putting a pretty severe strain across the top of my shoulder where the bone damage is. And by the way, in case you didn't know, my upper body is not just nerve damage from the central nervous system. I actually have 2 blown shoulders on top of everything else. So I've actually been doing what I can to learn what I can about the process and different types of power wheelchairs. I have the power assist device, and that helps me outside of my living space. But starting off 3 years ago in a wheelchair with shoulders that were already blown, it's better to prepare myself now for the eventuality of needing something other than, I don't know, man, because my manual wheelchair is optimized to, for turning radius and everything else inside of a living space, and I've been beating up the door frames of this apartment ever since I moved in, and the apartment I had before it, which was the first apartment I had to learn how to live in as a full-time wheelchair user. And that was all paneling, all woodwork, and I left many, many scars. I don't know. I hope I'm not doing anything harmful to the listeners' ears here. I wonder if there's any professional dulcimer players out there that actually play this high up on the soundboard. That is interesting. So let's see, can you see it? This is right here. So Lydia actually has what they call a 6.5 fret. There are a lot of there are many players who prefer to have also a 1.5 fret. I'm glad I'm not the one that has to figure out the spacing between the frets when you start going in half frets, and so I'll have to make the same keys with the strings that are on here or whatever. But um, so Lillian does not have either a 1.5 fret or a 6.5 fret, but Lydia does have a 6.5 fret, and so when I played through that song all those times, I was having to kind of mentally catalog which dulcimer I was on and which one uh, where to skip over the 6.5 fret, because it just doesn't sound right if you play if you use this. It's only a half step down from where the highest note is on the arrangement that I played, and so when you go through the sequence where it fits in the song, instead of dropping a whole step down and making it sound right, it only drops half a step and it doesn't sound right at all. And that is the extent of the music theory knowledge that I have. Beyond that, I barely understand what I said just then. Try to explain or put into practice uh, any kind of additional uh, music theory isn't going to happen. By the way, just off camera, I have Lyndon on standby. Big boy that he is with the beefy voice. Uh, and I was going to swap out the sisters, Lydia and Lillian, for the brother at some point. I might do that just because why waste the opportunity while I'm here? But I'm not going to be able to do much of anything explorative with Lyndon because I made a miscalculation when I was setting up all of these dulcimers to put them within reach so that I could just grab them in the middle of the video. I accidentally landed Lillian right on the tuning pegs of Lyndon, and I didn't bring any of my tuning stuff with me. So Lyndon now sounds like like that. It's just this one that's not tuned at all. So maybe I can play, if I don't get any attention on it. I can pretend that I'm a cool musician and tune it by ear. Maybe I can't. What happened? Did it break? I hope it didn't break. Doesn't sound like it broke. Friction pegs, ladies and gentlemen. Very unstable things. It would be interesting to know what I just tuned it to. I have no idea. Oh. So I'm guessing if this is the first time that I've ever tried to tune any instrument without a tuner, that's way too far. Ooh. Alright, whatever note you are, how does that sound together? If. Why is it getting lower? It's like getting deeper instead of higher. Does that sound okay? I'm probably going to end up bumping this at some point between here and actually getting it on a tuner to know what I tune this to, but let's see what this does. Okay, now I'm just guessing. I suffer no delusions that I have this set to anything standard. I think I just went from a baritone dulcimer to a bass dulcimer. I'd also help if I look where I'm putting my finger. Okay, lesson learned. Next time I just try to set up something like this with the dulcimers, bring my tuning equipment uh, along for the ride just in case. But anyway, I just looked up at the timer on this and it looks like I am now almost, I don't know, this video is a lot longer than I anticipated it to be. So sorry if you feel like I've wasted your time. I didn't mean to. I just kind of got caught up in dealing with stuff from the video and I got a little bit lost in just practice, I guess. So thanks for sitting with me. Thank you for your patience. I'm going to end this video fairly abruptly and I'm going to go back to doing the thing I like to do so that I don't waste your time. Thanks for joining me. I hope whatever you're up to, you're having a great time of it. It is now 1:30 in the morning. You're probably asleep, so when you're not asleep and you're watching this, I pray it's going well for you. So anyway, yeah, so that's what I found for my hands to do. Remember Hebrews 11:6, and until next time, there is next time, and there might not be. God be with you.